It is those fights that really bring them up to the table in that early game here. But their opponents are Talent Gaming, where they can recuperate and play for that 10th minute. Blue Gaming for this game number 3. With backs against the wall, LGD, you need to take a win to pull this series back into a 1-2. But let's hear the crowd before we go into the action.
Insane challenges now for both the captains because there's a lane swap happening. Lgdnbw Gaming going to put their Arlie on the top side of the map to go up against Ching on the Umbrosa. Meanwhile, Loa has to deal with a duo that is Snowy and Joy.
I like the approach you're coming for LGD because you're avoiding Snowy's channel into Arlie matchup for Xiaohan. You don't want a difficult matchup coming in for this Arlie. You want this Arlie to be able to collect as much resources as possible into your pockets.
Also Classics, right? And with that, Classics has actually stolen the Spike Tail Beast away from the side of Talent Gaming, and this is a great start. But right now, it's all about the clash laners here. Luo and Ching, whoever falters towards the aggression on the duo laners on the side of both teams, that is going to be a potential opening that is going to help them snowball.
Fully agree with you here, Kin, but in the early game, I do want to put focus more on towards the junglers. I do think they have more mobility and spells to really look for these big team fights here. As towards the mid lane, so many members here already.
Yep, they have to make full use of that goal sharing, right? And right now, this is also the best place to make those trades. But looks like LGD are not getting the better of the trades here. Nice mirror domain by the side of Hui, but it's not going to provide too much value. Just buys a little bit more time because they make the earlier rotation on the side of LGD.
Yeah, big like CDs being committed for the side of LGD, but Hui is going for a much more safer build. He's going for that tank jungle item on towards the Jing here. Not what we see usually, but it is one of the possible routes that you can go for if you're looking to be a annoyance or nuisance in those team fights.
Yeah, once it gets into the giant grid form, that is where the true potential of the tankiness will come through. But for now, it is really about the positioning, right? We want Hui to be able to catch his hands onto Snowy or Crane. Force something out.
Forcing something out, but can you force something when your wave is so frozen in towards the enemy base here? Because look at the wave here. They're just trying so hard to allow this wave to start pushing into a neutral state.
Yeah, I think this might be the chance that LGD wants to look for and try and put pressure, right? They actually committed the ultimate on the side of Lore, the young generals. Now this means the rotation has to be done on the side of LGD or they will lose value in this rotational speed.
Rotational speed is the name of the game here. As we take a look at the resource department, so far it's still a 50-50. Both teams are farming to an equal in this early game.
Yeah, Snowy is well halfway, almost halfway to the item on that Eternity Blade, and the RE as well, halfway to the Doomsday or Sparkforge Dagger, depending on which one they want to go with. It has to be Doomsday, right?
Snowy... Wait. You're talking about Xiaohan, right, on the early?
Xiaohan.
Okay, Xiaohan is going for... Oh, hang on a moment.
Nice setup on this first life. Can they get it down? Annihilation does hit the mark. Not enough damage. At the same time, Mirror Domain committed, but right under that T1 turret, which means he has to back off. Hui taking a little bit too much from that T1 in the mid.
Oh, back to your question as well here, Kin. So in the Chinese KPL version, the early standard build goes for the Sparks Forge into the Doomsday and then the Daybreaker here. So Sparks Forge allows you to farm faster, and the recipe for Sparks Forge involves like more physical damage compared to the global server.
Yes, major differences, right? And this is going to aid it with the wave clear. So this is going to be huge for them. Right now, you can see the value of the Sparkforge Dagger coming through against Ching. Now, this is the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, 4th minute mark. Tyrant has already been started for the side of Talent Gaming here, but this early game that we've seen so far, both siders are nowhere to be seen.
Yep, there is no more first life for the side of Xiao Tai. He will give his life. First blood goes into the hands of Crane, looking for more value as well. In the meantime, they know they lost this fight, so Lgdnbw make the trade at the top side. Luo getting that T1 on the top.
But still, Snowy with a good rotation as well, escaping from danger and allowing himself to position in towards that mid lane here. Big win so far coming in for Sat TTG.
Right, the indomitable form by the side of Ching, the captain here, as Hui looking for some value, will get the clearance on that T1 wave at the bottom side. So LGD keeping pace, in fact, having a very slight lead for the moment.
Yeah, very slightly for the moment, they do trade the tower in exchange for the Tyrant here. But right now, in towards the early game, already a kill on board for the side of Crane in that mid lane for this Yuan.
Yep, I think it's okay. It's not the end of the world, right? It could have been worse if that kill was given to Snow instead. The stuns are trying to come through, but for now, they're unable to lock down Lore, and this is a great lead to hold for the side of Talent Gaming if they can get more of the resources across the map.
And coming into this like game 3, right, the engage approach is starting to switch up. Usually we see the jungle, the clash lane, but right now it's under the hands of Joy and also Xiaozai in those roam roles here. You have Zhang Fei, the Unbridled Outburst, and Xiaozai with the Iron Colossus to find those big engages here. So they will play a big part in these team fights to find the perfect moment for their teams.
They have to, and right now you also have to make sure that the map is very good for your side. Annihilation going to be dropped down, that's a healthy amount of damage. The true value here is taking the T1 away. Oh, on the backlines though, this 1v1 not looking too good. Emergence to try and deter them. That will be successful as Talent Gaming once again thwarted in their attempts to get down the lives of Hui.
I was so close coming in for the side of Hui because that Hellhound landed on towards him. If there was no assistance here coming for LGD, you best believe Sunrise will go in for that second cast on that first spell.
Yeah, but take a look at what Ching is doing again and again. This guy, sneaky, taking a lot of free damage on T1 on the top. This will be a necessary trade because they are kind of neck and neck in terms of farm. But once they take that T1, oh, hang on, nice catch from this movement. And they will take down the life of Xiaohan. A big start for the side of Talent Gaming, as well as the Crimson Golem. Annihilation will not hit the mark. There is an Unbridled Outburst to work with for the side of Joy. What will they do in this situation? Nice domain from the side of Joy. So they'll reset, and LGD, no answers.
It is a disaster here coming in for the side of Lgdnbw Gaming here because you lost your main carry. The Arlie that needs to pace herself for the 10th minute mark has faltered in that exchange, and let alone that, you lose the Crimson buff as well. That is a big loss here coming in for the side of LGD.
Yep, double whammy. Could get a lot worse. They're going on to the jungler. Hui is in a little bit of pressure here, but they have to be careful about Snowy's positioning as well. Here comes the flank on the side of Sunrise. He's looking for the opening. Jumps in. Can he finish off the job here? One more hit will do it, but the lifesteal is just a little bit too much. He buys some time, but this is your golem. That's a true value. Can they steal it away? Hui does secure it for the team, but the lives are at risk. Hui, he makes a beeline for the back, and the chase does come in. Can they catch him? Ching is looking for the opening, but they know this is time wasted, so they're putting their attention on that mid T1 with Joy, creating so much space. Unbridled Outburst could be the setup for the side of Talent Gaming here.
What a good rotation thus far coming in from Talent Gaming, and once again it is Sunrise finding the catch on towards Lord, allowing them to attack the jungle, attack the mid lane turtle, and right now, take a look at the lead. It is 2,000 in favor of Talent Gaming, which is a much more late game favorite matchup.
And you're asking, how does Lore take so much damage? Because there was a 2-level difference between Sunrise and him just now. And with that additional pressure onto this Crimson Golem, they need to secure this on the side of Lgdnbw. But here comes the potential outburst. And with that, they get the steal for Sunrise as well. And they will be looking to enter across the other portions of the map. Talent Gaming, they got what they came for. Now it's time to reset and make life even more difficult for LGD.
They're playing so clean here coming in from Talent Gaming. They are just coming for the objective, denying you any sort of buff on the hands of Hui, on the hands of Xiaohan. You can start to see the level of the farm lanes is in favor for Snowy on that channel. This is not a good news if you're the Arlie, because Arlie needs the levels, needs the 3 item power spike during the 10th minute mark. If she doesn't, she will get outscaled by the channel.
Yeah, and this is going to be the case until they hit 15, right? Where things will be reset into even, and then it's a comparison of farm. Right now, it's about, what, 300 gold difference that sets between Snowy as well as Xiaohan. But we'll see the fight. No Unbridled Outburst just yet for the side of Joy. We'll get the Radiance to slow them down. Here comes the creation blocks with the Matrix. Looking for an opening. They need to get this Azure Golem into the hands of Hui, or he will be in a disadvantage for the fight. He's looking for the entry. Does get the smite, but no! Loses it to the side of TTG, and now TTG on the hunt. The jump in by Sunrise. They want him. They want him now. Hui is going to be taken down. 30 seconds without the jungler. No more burst damage. Nice setup from the side of Xiaozai. He buys some time for the team. But once again, the Leaping Savior. Joy is giving so much value to the side of Talent Gaming, and the reward is well worth it. It's a T2 for the side of DTG.
Not just a T2, they do get the Azure Golem, and then another tier 2 towards the mid, and then a Crimson Golem towards the top side. The map is in total control coming in from Talon Gaming right now. LGD backs against the wall. This is such a disadvantage that they are facing going into the 10th minute Tyrant fight.
Yep, they were looking for red, but LGD are now beaten black and blue because this is blue across the map here. Talon Gaming looking for that split push once again. Ching buying time, getting that sneaky push on the top. At the same time, TTG, they're trying to fight for this 10-minute Tyrant. And with that, Hui once again has been pushed away. He has no options, no Azure buff to work with. And TTG have the entire map under control. This Tyrant is guaranteed.
LGD, what is going on here? You are making so much mistakes in that early game, leading to this big deficit thus far coming in from Talon Gaming. Take a look towards the bottom left of your screen. That is the vision control in favor of TTG. Everything in blue and very minimal red in that map.
Yep, and it's going to be even bluer at this point for Talon Gaming because they will be looking for that engage here. Now, Xiaohan, he does have the option to try and come in to get some poke damage, but take a look at the gold difference. He's close to 1,000 behind the likes of Snowy.
It is not a good news, especially when we talk about it early. You want to be controlling that mid game with your superior mobility here, but we're going to late game right now with Shadow Tyrant in towards the enemy. You have so much to be concerned about. So much damage on towards your face. You cannot out damage the channel while simultaneously kiting Sunrise and also Ching on those fighters.
Yeah, look at the damage they're doing. Structural damage. T3 at the bottom has been taken out by the side of TTG. Now, there is still no entry into the lineup in the heart of Talon Gaming from the side of LGD. And there's absolutely nothing they can do.
Such a stressful way here for the side of Talon Gaming here. You can start to see no tier 3 towards the bottom here, and then Talon Gaming, once this Shadow Tyrant expires, they could much just walk towards the top river, get that Shadow Vanguard, and then revisit towards the push. But no, they are playing aggressive. They want more with this Tyrant buff.
Yep, and very limited options, right? Classics has to continually throw out the Annihilation, not to deal damage to the heroes, that will be a perk, but to really get the waves in check. And that's a huge ultimate done for the side of Lgdnbw Gaming.
Ooh, stressful for LGD. They cannot find anyone on the side of Talon Gaming. There is no misposition. There is no little target for them to be bullying on because so far we have yet to see any value from the Jing pick. No assassinations, and just Jing is not a full assassin. He is going for that tanky build.
Well, they needed that early game advantage, right? But if you take a look at the kill score, 4-0, there was no opportunity for the side of Lgdnbw to be able to find any value. Now, 101 seconds in the jungle on the side of LGD. Look at the value that Sunrise has created for the team, stealing away 1,159 gold with his steals.
Man, that's so much gold in pockets of Talon Gaming's jungler here. I gotta say, Sunrise, in this game, he has outperformed Hui in every aspect of the jungle. Be it in the invade, be it in the department where he has to find opportunities, he's been just everywhere on that Yangjian.
They get the setup here, looking for the unbridled outburst. It needs to be a big opportunity. They jump in, Sunrise as well. That's a lot of damage. First life gone for the side of Xiaotai. He might fall here. Emergence used to try and back the team up, but it's not enough damage on the side of LGD, and the crystal is open. Game number 3 goes into Talon Gaming.
6-0 in that kill score. It is a complete perfect game coming in for the side of Talon Gaming. They had no casualties and they played every little team fight from early all the way to the end game. Perfect, immaculate stuff.